Well, it's that time of the year. We're overthinking every little single thing that's going on around Notre Dame football. Heading into a big Week 1 matchup against Texas A&M, it's easy to think the worst at this time of the year. The Kool-Aid has worn off from spring football, and now we're left with a lot of questions, to be honest with you. A lot of things got answered during the blue and gold game. A lot of things got answered during the spring, but with a typical, spring season, you end up leaving with even more questions than what you came in with. And one of the things that's been rattling around my brain, probably more than it should, is how does Mike Denbrock approach Texas A&M in Week 1? Namely, how is he going to approach the opening drive? Hostile environment. I think that it's well documented that Texas A&M's strength of their entire team is going to directly attack what we think is probably one of the weaknesses or perceived weaknesses at Notre Dame, which is our offensive line. That could, of course, be proven to be false as time goes on throughout the season. It's a huge question mark, albeit talented. It is a question mark. So I'm thinking, how is Denbrock going to approach this? Because Notre Dame's roster this year is, it's not LSU's. It's not going to be as explosive as far as who they have a quarterback and who they have a receiver. It's not going to be a Cincinnati roster because, well, to be honest with you, Notre Dame, I don't even think it's debatable. Notre Dame has a more talented roster than any of those Cincinnati teams. So it's got to be kind of a hybrid approach. And I'm thinking, well, what type of offenses, was Mike Denbrock associated with? And I thought back to this 2015 team. I thought back to this offense, minus Will Fuller. We have to take Will Fuller out of the equation a little bit because there's no one on this roster that is Will Fuller. I think you can make a case that Jeremiah Love is a really, really explosive athlete, but he's not playing wide receiver like that, right? So we have to kind of take that out of the equation. So I'm thinking, all right, well, Mike Denbrock was a part of one of the most explosive offenses that Notre Dame has had in the modern era. So it would make sense that he would approach things similarly to how this game was approached in the opening drive. And I want to break it down play by play. And I'd love to know what you guys think too. So let's check this out, all right? So we got the kickoff. All right, yeah, we'll skip through that, whatever. It's condensed. Okay, so opening drive. This is interesting. So I like this alignment. You've got Torrey Hunter split out there, and he's typically the slot, but he's split out on an island. You've got Terrion Folston. This is 11 personnel, so you got one tight end, one running back. Terrion Folston, who, unfortunately, for all intents and purposes, his career ended this game. I mean, it was basically on the second drive, which really, really sucked. But you've got that. You've got the straw that stirs the drink in Malik Zaire at quarterback. And I really like the parallels here because Riley Leonard is also a super athletic quarterback. They're not the same player. I mean, Malik Zaire had a wild arm, an absolute cannon. But as far as the athleticism goes, there's definitely some similar characteristics there. So how they open up here and how Notre Dame decides to open up is they're going to bring Torrey Hunter in on a jet sweep. Boom, 2 yards. Okay, here's why I like this play and why I really like it for 2024. The first thing that this play does is it tests your eye discipline. It tests Texas's eye discipline. The linebackers now have to respect this jet sweep. The big storyline, and look, the defensive end, he even knows it. The big storyline going into this game is going to be similar to the storyline going into 2024. That quarterback likes to run, and they can hurt you on the ground. So here you go. You've got defensive end staying, and Malik Zaire makes the right read and gives it off to Torrey Hunter Jr. Why I like this play even more is that I think I thought Torrey Hunter was a nice player. I'm not knocking him by any means. I just have to be realistic when looking at this. I think Jordan Faison is a perfect player to use in this situation. He can make you pay more than maybe a Torrey Hunter Jr. could here. What my main objective on this play, if I'm Mike Denbrock, is I don't care how much we pick up on this play. I just want to make sure we pick up a yard or two, and I want Texas to understand that they have to respect other options out of the backfield besides. Sorry, my camera work sucks. Besides Malik Zaire. And well, in our case for 2024, Riley Leonard. So really, really like that. Like already you're starting to see like there's a plan, there's a reason behind the play. That's something that maybe we didn't have last year or the year before. Like we're starting to chain together concepts. I love this as an opening play, and I love the fact that your slot is out there, split out wide by himself. You bring him in. You have to account for that now if you're Texas A&M. And I think someone like Jordan Faison is a huge asset to be able to use in a play like this. Maybe even a Jaden Harrison too. Either of those players would be great. Now, if you're Tommy Reese or if you're Jared Parker, you'd probably use someone like Jaden Thomas for a play like that, but that's a different story for a different date. So, okay, we start with that. Now, already you see pre-snap, you've got Darian Folston. He starts on the left hip of Malik Zaire, shifts over to the right hip of Malik Zaire. I like this. I like this little shift. And then you're going to notice something on this play. It doesn't really go so well, but let's watch the offensive line here. You got Steve Elmer at right guard, who I believe, I don't know, it looks like they're pretty set on putting Billy Schrauth there, which I freaking love. I mean, I love this alignment. I love this play with someone like Billy Schrauth, and I really like Jadarian Price being used this way too. So let's check it out. Boom, trap, block perfectly. Block perfectly. Terry and Folston, I don't have the all 22 footage, so I'm not going to speak on things that I don't know. But what I'm going to guess happened here is it's a problem with a lot of really talented running backs. He's doing too much. He tries bouncing it outside when really he should have just planted his foot and just went, man. That could have been a 4 to 5 yard pickup. Instead, he just barely gets to the line, picks up a yard, and then you're looking at a 3rd and 7. Now, why I think that this play is going to go better if we ran it in 2024 is you've got a running back in Jadarian Price or Jeremiah Love that if they turn upfield, that is an absolute problem for the defense. Where I could absolutely see either of them doing what Terry and Folston did here. Oh man, I gotta score. I gotta pick it up all at once. Here's the thing, guys. On a play like this, if you're a running back, you gotta live to carry the ball another down. You're not going to get the ball again in a 3rd and 7 situation. So one thing that I would change is the execution of this play. The offensive line blocked it perfectly. Let's not forget, the 2015 offensive line is the best offensive line perhaps absolutely that I've seen as a fan. It's honestly better than the 2017 offensive line. I don't think that we have that, coming into this year. Although I do think that it can absolutely turn into that as this season progresses, and in 2025, totally different story. We'd be having that conversation. But Billy Schrauth trapping right there like Steve Elmer did, and you got someone like Jadarian Price, you pick up 4 to 5 yards, you're looking at a different scenario. But then now you're in a situation where you're putting a lot of pressure on Malik Zaire. And let's say we're in this situation. Let's grant us that. You've got Riley Leonard back there and perhaps Jadarian Price or Jeremiah Love. And I really like Jeremiah Love in this situation because you could use him sort of out of the backfield. But, if you're using it for pass pro purposes, either or will do. You've got Chris Brown at the bottom of the screen. And I'll tell you who I really like in this situation. And I bet you guys might agree or disagree, but let's watch this play. All day to throw. So Malik's got all day to throw. That offensive line is putting in work already. Like you just tell, like that offensive line is just impressive. But I'll tell you who I like in this play. It's like a deep slant post route sort of scenario. I really, really like Deion Colsey in that situation. And here's why. I understand that there's a lot of ifs and buts when it comes to Deion Colsey, but he's got very similar skill sets to Chris Brown. I think, honestly, Deion Colsey might be a little bit more of a fluid athlete than what Chris Brown was. And I just got to go off of what I see in the game, man. I'm not in practices. We all get the same reports, but I've never seen Deion Colsey catch a ball that wasn't a first down or a touchdown. Like, right there is something where you could really give that dude some life in a very big moment. And I really like that concept. I like that play there in that situation. We have not seen a whole lot of that over the last, I don't know, since 2017. Just slinging it to the center, slinging it through the middle of the field. You got a guy in Riley Leonard that could do that. And again, I don't know if we're going to have all day like the offensive line gave there. I mean, there's two windows there, and Malik Zaire was able to fit it into the second window to Chris Brown. But I really like Deion Colsey in this scenario. So a good play. And you could see it here. Look, watch. First window, not there. Second window, boom, hit it. Good. First down. I like that. So you got trips right on this next play. Whoops. You got trips right on this next play. And this is a cool concept. So let's just play it. I'm going to break this one down. All right. We get it. Nice throw, Malik. Miss you, man. Hitch. Over to Alizé Mack. Dropped. Okay. So, love this concept. I love this concept even if it's a 3rd and 4 type situation that it really should have been. This is a great play for a couple different reasons, and it's just poorly executed by Alizé Mack. And I'm trying not to be mean here, but Alizé Mack is probably the worst tight end that I've seen at Notre Dame, which is saying a lot. That's saying a lot, and it's a compliment to how good the tight end room has been at Notre Dame for so long. Because he was a really a good player, but man, it's plays like this. Like, he's such a good athlete. He's thinking about where he's going to go with the ball. He drops it. And now you're in a weird situation that doesn't have to be weird. Like, if you throw that ball, you could throw that ball to any 3 of these guys. Mitchell Evans, who I hope is healthy for that game. Eli Raridan, who I hope is healthy for that game. Or Cooper Flanagan. They catch that ball. They catch that ball, and it's either 6 or 7 yards or a freaking first down. You could break that tackle. I believe it's Malik Jefferson in this play that's on Alizé, and Malik was a really good player. But still, man, like, you understand where I'm going with. You get where I'm going. We've got the players in 2024 that could make that play. Like, 2015 had some insane top-end talent on offense, really freaking explosive. But it's like, hey, like, that's not undoable in 2024. Like, that's a play you have to make. You have to make that play, especially if you're in hostile territory. But I love the concept. I really do. I love exactly how that's called. I love this being thrown to Mitchell Evans. I love it being thrown to Eli Raridan. And if we really have to throw it to Cooper Flanagan, I like that too. Like, this play gets made. Just my 2 cents. So, all right, we're kind of up Schitt's Creek. It's 2nd and 10, and we're gonna hand the ball off in pistol set. Terrian does what he does best. He runs downhill and picks up 3. We don't have to go too much into that, but I'm probably going to. I want to see if there's any pre-snap motion here. No pre-snap motion. All down blocks. Terrian goes, and I'll tell you what excites me about this play here and the way it's blocked. First of all, man, I remember watching this game in person, and I was like, man, Malik Jefferson, like, that dude's going to be fucking insane. And it just didn't end up panning out that way. But, like, that's a really good play by a really good player who was just on one that night. Let's say that's Jeremiah Love. And I really like Jeremiah Love in the pistol set because it allows him to gain momentum and gain speed and get downhill in a hurry. And if he gets to the second level, oh my God, this could go for 6, dude. And Terrian Folsom was an awesome player, especially this night. Like, there was a lot of expectations on that kid. And, unfortunately that injury just really set him back big time in his career. But I got to be honest, man. Someone like Jeremiah Love in this play, let's say that tackle doesn't get made. Jeremiah Love could house that. He could house that. So you're talking about a 4-play drive. I just really, I'm like licking my chops. I'm like, this is the type of stuff Notre Dame should be doing, man, with the type of personnel that we have. Like, why not? It's like, let's go. So that's like a play that really gets me excited. I got to be honest with you guys. All right. So now we're in 11 personnel again, and you got Corey Robinson motioning to the right. I like that. He commanded respect. You could have someone like a Deion Colsey. You could have someone like a Jaden Thomas. You could have someone like a Micah Gilbert. But I tell you who I really like getting motion to the right. I like Chris Mitchell. I like using that speed as a decoy in this situation. You'll see why here in a second. Because you got Durham Smythe, a.k.a. Mitchell Evans or Eli Raridan, running a drag route. Watch what happens. Just watch a little bit closer here. You got someone in Corey Robinson who it's like a mesh sort of route. They take one of the defenders out of it. Easy pitch and catch. Should have been a first down, really. I mean, and it looked like it was a first down, but they called it a 4th and 1. And you'll see that's basically where the drive ends. But I really like that play. It kind of clears everybody out. Listen, I think that tight end room was kind of weak to Notre Dame standards. Or by Notre Dame standards. I mean, if you got a Mitchell Evans, I really like Eli Raridan in that play because he's shown that he could be a battle as an inline blocker. Man, you got someone with that type of size and speed on a drag route. Oh, man, I mean, it's for sure a first down. Durham Smythe didn't have those types of tools, man. It wasn't going to happen. Then, it's a procedural error, and we understand what, they get the ball back really, really quickly, but, just watch this play one more time. Malik has all freaking day. I mean, he's under duress a little bit, but boom. Really should have been a first down. I love this. I love this type of stuff, and this is what kind of like made me want to make this video. Is I'm like, well, how would Mike Denbrock approach this? Man, he approaches it like this. That's how I feel like he's going to approach it. It's going to be a lot of 11 personnel. It's going to be a lot of, we're planting seeds for you to test your eye discipline. We're going to get our tight ends involved. If we have to make a big play through the air like we did early on with a guy like, Deion Colsey, for instance, on a 3rd and 7, we're going to be able to do that. I want to know what you guys think. Because my brain's been rattling around. I got way too much time on my hands. I'm freaking out about week 1 already. I like this to open things up. And you know what, man? This planted the seed for a really, really impressive offensive performance. But that's all I got. Let me know what you think. We'll talk more later.